I'm going to give you 3 reasons that you are attracted to narcissists and other unhealthy, toxic individuals who are not capable of having a healthy, loving relationship. And yes, you are attracted to them. If you have been in one toxic, dysfunctional, unhealthy relationship, then you likely have been in many. There has been a pattern. So I want to talk to you about some reasons for that. So stick around. Anyway, welcome back. Those of you who have been here before, if you are new here, my name is Twana Michelle. I am a mental health therapist. I am a narcissistic abuse recovery coach and a certified trauma therapist. I know it's been a while since I made a video here. I've actually taken a break because, life has been lifing, but I am back. So I want to talk to you all about how to identify your own patterns and how to change that. I know a lot of my content, probably most of it up to this point, has been focused on like the narcissists and other toxic individuals like them. And it's because I think it's super important to be able to identify these people, to understand their tactics, to understand how manipulative they can be, to understand that they basically are not going to change. So now that I've made tons of videos on that, I do have a playlist. You can go and take a look at that. I want to shift gears a bit because I want us to focus on how do we heal from that. We do have a role in our relationships, right? We're not just selected, we also select, we also choose, we also make decisions about who we want in our lives and the type of people we want in our lives. So I want to talk to you about the reasons we choose those that we do. So the first reason that we may find ourselves in a pattern of relationships with narcissists and other toxic people is that we have a distorted perception of love. Whatever we saw that occurred in those relationships is what we learned about love. It became ingrained in our subconscious, and so it is what we know. And it's so important to be able to identify what are my beliefs about love and relationships, especially like romantic relationships. What do I believe and where do I learn that? And probably 2 things are going to need to happen. 1, there's going to likely be some interpersonal trauma, attachment trauma associated with that. And so we have to be able to heal from that. And then secondly, we have to identify those distorted, limiting beliefs that we have so that we can work on changing them so that we can learn to choose something different. And the second reason we keep finding ourselves in these types of unhealthy relationships is closely related to the first. They're all related. The dynamic feels familiar, right? So going back to what we learned, not only do we have beliefs about what love is supposed to look like and feel like, we are also inherently attracted to what feels like home. So people who feel familiar to us, whether we like it or not, whether it feels positive or negative, whatever the case may be, there's a part of us that is drawn to them. That wounded part of us is drawn to what is familiar. And not only what is familiar, because it is familiar, it's a familiar dynamic, it's also our trauma being drawn to their trauma. And so it's something that happens unconsciously, but it is a thing. So if you're in a relationship with a toxic partner, ask yourself, does this person feel familiar to me? Does this person feel like home to me? And was home emotionally safe? Was home loving? Did I feel securely attached in my relationships in home? And I'm talking about family of origin. And so, of course, there could have been maybe other unhealthy, traumatic relationships that you've experienced later in your life. So there are exceptions, but most of the time, if you've been in a pattern of dysfunctional relationships, those earliest relationships in your lives, early, during your childhood is where you learn that. And the third reason we keep finding ourselves in these relationships is that if we have experienced attachment trauma, if we have experienced abuse, if we have experienced any type of neglect, if our parents were emotionally unavailable, if we were not taught directly and indirectly to love ourselves and that we were worthy as children, then we take into our adult lives a subconscious core belief of unworthiness. And so if we don't believe that we're worthy, then we settle for people who we think will accept us as we are. If I feel unworthy, if I feel unlovable, if I feel flawed in some way, then I'm going to think, well, I can't really do much better. So yeah, this person is problematic, but look at me. they actually chose me, who would want me. And so when we have those types of beliefs about ourselves, then we end up choosing partners that are not very high quality, partners that really don't meet our logical expectations of what a partner should be like or what a relationship would look like. But we choose partners based on who we subconsciously believe we are because of those unhealed wounds from our family of origin that have not been healed. So those are just 3 reasons that I wanted to give you. And I think those are the main reasons. Like I said, of course, there are exceptions. There are other reasons that we choose narcissists and other toxic people. Of course, they are masterfully skillful and manipulative, but we fall for it. We fall for the love bombing. We fall for the empty promises. We fall for the gaslighting tactics. They really know how to bait and hook us. And at some point, we have to stop looking outward at them. Yeah, they are, yeah, they are masters at all of those things. But we have to look inward and ask ourselves, what is it about me that keeps me susceptible to this? That keeps me in a position where I know I've seen this before. I know how it's going to end up. And yet I'm falling for it anyway. So that's all I have, y'all. Let me know in the comment section down below anything that you want to add. If you've been in a pattern of toxic relationships, let me know why. What are some of the reasons? What do you think keeps you going back there?